So today I'm talking with Stony Girl, and she is one of our buddies through Orville Nation. I think you and I really started talking over Twitter.
Yeah.
And then I started the podcast and we started talking more and more. And when I was with my ex-husband, we were doing parody songs. And I noticed that you started releasing your own songs.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of what melded us more. And then, of course, when we all get together and talk at Orville Nation on Latchcombe nights, Latchcombe! It just seemed like it was, a great friendship. And we have a lot in common.
We have a whole lot in common.
Yeah. And so I decided that the podcast has been on hiatus for a while. Co-host Vic is trying to figure out what he's doing. And I've already got so much going on with the Galactic Cafe that I was like, I'll just set it aside. But I'm like, you know what? I want to start talking to people. So you're the first guest.
Yay! I'm excited. Woo! Firsties.
I know. That's so awesome. So tell me, what started your love of science fiction?
Okay, well, my mom tells this story. She's told it my whole life. When I was born, I was adopted. First off, it wasn't like my mom was at the hospital when I was born. So they get a call and they're like, "Hey, the baby's here," and she's like, "We weren't expecting the baby for like another week and a half." So they waited till Saturday. They went to pick me up at the hospital. They brought me home. And the very first thing my dad did was sit down with me with a bottle and we watched Star Trek. So all of my life, as long as I can remember, I have been a Star Trek fan. I mean, I remember, and it was always a big deal. Like, because, for a long time it was at 6:00, then they moved it to after the 10:00 news. And so it was a big deal when I was a kid of being able to stay up and watch Star Trek. And we'd like go in there and just like, "Mom, can I watch Star Trek?" And she'd be like sitting there with her friends and she'd be like, "Okay, but keep the volume down." And I'd sit there and watch it and she'd be in the background telling that story. Yeah, she's been watching Star Trek since she was born. So yeah, I mean, I can't remember a point in my life where I wasn't a Star Trek fan. When I was, I guess, 8, Star Wars came out. And my neighbor across the street, who had been my babysitter, was like, "You have to see it." And I'm like, "Is it Star Trek?" And she was like, "No, it's not, but it's really good and you're going to like it." So she took me to see Star Wars, and that started the Star Wars part of it. And then shortly after that, Battlestar Galactica came out as a movie. And made us think it was a movie, but really it was just the first 2 episodes of the series back to back on the big screen, but it was still good. So yeah, big sci-fi fan all my life. Can't remember a point where I didn't like science fiction.
So when TOS ended, did you watch the animated series?
Yes. I mean, because the animated
watched
series
it all
was
the way
actually
through, even to New Trek.
Yeah. Well, when I was okay, so the series had already ended when I was born, because I was born in 1969. So it had literally just ended a couple of weeks before I was born, but it was in reruns. So we would watch it in syndication, and then when it came back as the animated series a couple of years later, I would watch that on Saturday mornings. So I watched that faithfully. Always thought it wasn't quite as good as not that the writing isn't as good, but just, it had the cheapest animation they could possibly find. I don't know why, but they just,
That was just like Paramount was like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, and it had that because there was a lot of that really bad animation in the 70s. There were a lot of shows like that. And I remember even as a kid thinking, this is really poorly animated. I wish it was real Star Trek.
And a lot of the Walter Koenig and James Doohan and George Takei, Nichelle Nichols, they did the voice tracks for their own characters. But didn't they have a lot of trouble getting Shatner and Leonard Nimoy?
I don't think they got Shatner. I haven't watched it in years, but I don't even know if maybe they got him. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to sound like an expert when I'm not.
No, you're fine.
But then like Next Gen came out when I was in high school or college. Gosh, I'd have to look up the year to find out.
87 to 94.
Yeah, so it came out right as I was getting out of, because I graduated in 87. So it was coming right as I was kind of going into college. And I remember the first season thinking it was the worst TV show ever made. I mean, there was so much, like every now and then you get little pieces of an episode that were good, but so many of those first episodes were just straight up not good. You know, it wasn't until The Measure of a Man, I think, you know, when they brought in Jerry Taylor to write, where I think it really started getting good. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, because it was, it was rough there. But I'll say this, and I want to be really clear about this as someone who, you know, has watched Star Trek all of my life. Any Star Trek, the worst Star Trek, that Tasha Yar fights a cage match episode, the, you know, the Crusher with the Candle episode, it's all better than no Star Trek. I would rather have the worst Star Trek ever than no Star Trek at all. So
I agree.
That's how I feel about it.
So when the motion picture came out in 79, did you go see that immediately?
Oh yeah, at the theater. Yeah.
What did you think about it when you first saw it?
Okay, well, I didn't understand that there were Klingons in it. Like the Klingons that were in it, because they didn't look like Klingons. I didn't think they were Klingons. But other than that, I really liked it. I mean, it was very just, I mean, when you saw it on the big screen, it was just very epic, you know, and it had been so long coming. And there were so many people who did not like it, but I was like, any Star Trek's better than no Star Trek. I mean, it was no Wrath of Khan, which was probably out of all the films, maybe the best film they've done. But yeah, I mean, I was just happy to see it. I mean, you know, anything at that point. So
when the first time I got introduced to Star Trek was the Wrath of Khan, because my grandparents had the old satellite system.
Oh yeah.
And it always had HBO on. And it seemed like we were always ending up where HBO always had it on.
Oh, they had it on for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
like
so
years
I would
straight.
sit there in front of the TV and my grandfather would turn it on to keep me, because I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. And he loved Spock. He was a Spock fan. Of course, he's like, don't believe the ending of this movie. That's my favorite Star Trek movie. His other favorite was 4, because he loved the whales and he loved Leonard Nimoy's directing.
I like 4. I think 4 feels the most like an episode, you know, like an actual Star Trek episode, because you've got that banter, but especially between Bones and Spock, and you know, you got Scotty trying to figure out a big problem. It felt the most like an episode to me. But I mean, 2 is just, I mean, it's such a well-written story arc, and it goes back to, you know, brings Ricardo Montalban back as Khan, and he's such a brilliant actor. And I mean, it was just, it was Ronald D. Moore wrote that, just fantastic. And he was, and somebody just, he was at Star Trek Las Vegas this last weekend, and somebody has a picture with him. Yeah, he always shows up. He's never, even when he's busy with Outlander, he still shows up. So I love it when the people who helped push Star Trek forward stay involved, like the Okudas. Jerry Taylor did until she passed away. Jonathan Frakes. Yeah. I'm in awe of him. I mean,
how he hopped different series. Yeah.
That he just directed was incredible. I mean, it was really amazing. I loved it. Loved the whole bit at the beginning with the fake, you know, the not Star Trek, where, you know, Kirk is pretending to be, he's doing his William Shatner impersonation. It's brilliant. It's so good. Yeah. You know, it's the kind of stuff that if you describe it to someone, they're like, oh, that sounds cheesy and stupid. but it really works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just works, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. I know a lot of people criticize Strange New Worlds. Oh, why do we have to have a prequel series? I think it's worth it. I just wish it was canon. There's a lot of people who are telling from the show that it's not canon.
Well,
I don't know if I believe it though.
I mean, I always think of that meme, you know, it's the meme with the 4 pictures, and it's I don't even know what movie it's from, but the first guy is like, you know, hey, I'm not getting paid enough. And the second one's like, well, you make more than me. And the third one's like, what? And the last guy's like, you're getting paid? I saw it once, and it's all like, you know, Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who. And the guy at the bottom who's like, what, you're getting paid, was Doctor Who. And he's like, you guys have canon? And I think at this point, that's kind of how I feel about it. Once you get a franchise that's been along for so long, you can try to make everything work with canon, but you're not going to be able to. I mean, at some point, somebody's going to write something that's going to, like with Andor. Andor is one of the greatest TV shows ever made, ever. Greatest sci-fi TV show ever made. I'll stand by that, and I'm a huge Orville fan. I love the Orville, but it's second only to Andor. But like with Andor, they retconned the whole thing about how he gets K2SO, and that made like real diehard Star Wars fans very angry. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh
yeah, I saw that. I was like, why are you guys upset? This is not what you're getting upset over.
Not everything is going to work on. Not everything that works in a comic book or in a novel is going to work on television. I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. You've got to make a show's got to be visually interesting. You know, in a book or in a comic book, you can get inside the characters' heads and know what they're thinking. On TV, you don't. They have to either tell you what they're thinking by talking, or show you what they're thinking by, you know, body language and you know, emotional and stuff like that. It's a lot harder on TV. And some things just don't translate well. So
that's true.
I mean, I heard what the story was in the comic book, and I was like, that's really boring. I kind of like the way they did it on the show better. So
on about Andor, my son is upset. My oldest, his name's Tony. His screen name is Tony Man. He's mad that they didn't keep Kyle, what's his face's story from the book and the game. It wasn't Jyn Erso and Andor that steal the Death Star plans. It was this kid, this guy. And
Kyle Solar's character.
Yeah.
And I can't think of
I have that book somewhere. I wish I could find that book. It was a good book. But it was like nobody wanted to keep the books canon at all.
Well, there's a whole thing in Star Wars where evidently the books aren't canon. Like the movies are canon, but the shows are sort of canon, and the books are not canon, and the comics aren't. You know,
Lucas did not want that. He wanted the books to stay canon until we started new movies. And J.J. Abrams is like, nope, not doing it. And he got Kathleen Kennedy to join in, which is crazy. Well, but we all have our opinions on Kathleen Kennedy.
I know a lot of people don't like her. And I don't really know that much about her. What I know is that everyone said, well, Andor is her baby. Well, if Andor was her baby, that woman needs more kids, because that was really good show. Nominated for more Academy Awards than any. I mean, it's getting a nomination for writing. Yeah. How many sci-fi shows get nominated for an Emmy for writing? That doesn't happen. I mean, think about it. A Tale of Two Topaz didn't get nominated for writing, and it should have been.
And it's one of the best Orville episodes ever.
I mean, it's one of the best sci-fi episodes ever, as far as like being relevant for what's kind of going on, and so
exactly.
I was sad it didn't get nominated, but anyway.
So
I'm so mad.
So go ahead.
I'm mad Diego Luna didn't get nominated.
Yes, he is a great actor.
It was so good. He didn't. None of the cast. I mean, okay, some of the cast, but more of the cast, I think, should have been recognized. And I really hope they are recognized at the Screen Actors Guild.
And and the Saturn Awards. Definitely the Saturn Awards.
I figure they'll sweep the Saturn Awards. If they don't, I mean, what's
going to be? the lady that played Mon Mothma, she should have been nominated too. I mean, my goodness. So
Genevieve O'Reilly, I think Adria Ojana, I think that's how I probably just butchered her name, but Bix, I think Bix really had an amazing character arc, going from being sexually assaulted to dealing with the trauma from the whole, headphone device to finally being able to make peace there at the end with herself and with the baby. I mean, it was so good. How is she not nominated? But evidently they nominated the entire cast of White Lotus instead.
Well, I guess the squeaky wheel that's getting greased in Hollywood is cha-ching.
Well, I'm sure it is. I mean, that probably, I don't know. Maybe it's good. I haven't watched it. Not sure I'm going to now.
I don't want to watch it. I mean, I love Jennifer Coolidge. I like the Schwarzenegger kid, but it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
So
nothing goes pew pew in it.
That's right.
Nothing blows. If nothing blows up, I just don't care. Okay, right. I'm sorry. That's kind of
save the drama for your mama. We want sci-fi drama with explosions.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Pew pews. Got to have pew pews.
That's right. So, did you watch Voyager and DS9?
Yes. Oh, yes. And
continued on with the shows for Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. And because when people complain about the Klingons now, this is one of my big beefs, because I hear people now constantly talk about the Klingons, and I always think, oh, that's so cute. I can't wait till they get over it, because like I said, when I first saw the first movie, there were Klingons in it. I didn't realize they were Klingons. We went and saw the second movie, no Klingons in it. So third movie comes out and it's all about Klingons. It's got lots of Klingons. And I literally walked out of it going, I don't get who they were fighting. And someone went, those were the Klingons. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Why'd they all have turtles on their heads? And it bugged me. And when Next Gen came out and they all looked like that, I'm like, what did they do to the Klingons? This is ridiculous. And now I look back at it all and think, oh, they just changed them. Who cares? They're still Klingons.
And the explanation of the change, Worf tried to explain that it was genetic manipulation. And
they did the whole thing in Enterprise where they're like, okay, we're going to retcon it. We're going to explain how it happens. And it's like, I don't think you even need to, I think the explanation is you got a bigger budget. That's the real explanation.
Go. Yeah.
You got a bigger budget. You can do more stuff now. That's the real answer. So yeah, but that's why it cracks me up when I hear people complain about the Discovery Klingons. It's like, oh, my sweet summer child, just wait. Someday you'll be like, I haven't seen any Star Trek in years, and you'll just be so happy for it to come back and be like, yeah, okay, now the Discovery Klingons don't bug me that much, So
yeah. So what did you think about Discovery?
I loved it the first season. And what I said, I had this conversation with someone in my office about it, and we agreed it's not brilliant Star Trek, because it doesn't have that moral theme going through it that like the Orville has, that Star Trek had, that Next Gen had, that Voyager had, and occasionally Deep Space Nine had. Which is why I think Deep Space Nine is my least favorite of the Rick Berman era, because I feel like it was exactly what Ira wanted it to be. It was darker. It was less optimistic. All those things made me think it was not as good as Next Gen or Voyager. But, I love the whole thematic part of it. And Discovery lacked that. So I kind of thought that was lacking in it, but that first season was just so well written, and it was such a good story that I really liked it. Now as it progressed, like the second season, it looked to me like they went online and they read everyone online's comments, and then they wrote the season instead of coming up with a really good story. Instead, they went, what do you want to see next season? And they wrote around what people wanted to see. And that doesn't make for a good story. I mean, the story's got to be the most important part. If you don't have a good story, you don't have anything.
That's right.
You've got a bunch of special effects and some makeup and hair. And that's not enough to maintain an audience, I don't think. I mean, that's just me.
Because it's going to turn off a segment of the audience that didn't want that. And
yeah,
my thing lately, and I love saying it because I'm just ornery that way, but I feel like the studios are just throwing shit against the wall
and
to see
seeing
what
what'll stick.
sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. They're not trying to earn our eyes or our watch hours.
You know, I agree. I mean, and my biggest beef right now, like I'm really mad at the Star Wars fandom because when Andor originally was announced, we were getting 5 seasons of it. Before it ever even hit before the first season ever aired, they had made such a stink about, oh, it's Kathleen Kennedy's, it's going to be terrible. We heard Dave and John don't like it. And, you know, and there were all these rumors. By the time the first season aired, they had already made the Tony Gilroy so mad that he was like, screw this, I'm only doing 2 seasons.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about, we could have 5 seasons.
Yeah.
5 full seasons.
And there could have been some really good, like, backstory Rebel stuff that we had never heard before.
Like across the board. I mean, the kind of stuff you could have done more crossover stuff with, like Rebels with the Star Wars Rebels team. I mean, there was so much you could have done, but you know, no, they didn't, because you know.
So what do you think about Ahsoka?
I like Ahsoka, but that is really just season 6 of Rebels. So
yeah.
I mean,
you know,
it's hard for me to not like it. It has Chopper in it. I mean, that's all it really took was Chopper, and I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah. I had to remind myself I watched the Clone Wars and Rebels with my kids, and I had to remind myself, okay, I'm missing a whole bunch of plot, you know, different plots are missing in my head. So I went back and I watched them both because I work from home and I have time to sit here and, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. But I know a lot of people don't have time to do that, you know?
I mean, it is a deep dive. Like, it's not a casual watch. It's something that, you know, if you've watched all the other stuff, then you can watch this. But otherwise, you know. Yeah.
So with Ray Stevenson passing, how do you think the new hire is going to fit that role? Because in the Orville, Seth does not like to recast parts.
No,
to new actors. And in certain Star Trek shows, they don't like to do it either.
Yeah, I mean, they don't like to do that in Marvel. I mean, except for the Hulk, evidently, and you know, Falcon. But anyway, Spider-Man. That wasn't technically Marvel. That was like, you know,
Sony. Yeah, that's
Sony, and then Sony, and then somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, I would say don't recast it, but you're right in the middle of a plot line, so somebody's got to finish the story. You can't just drop it. You know, something has to be done about it. So you know, Rory was literally his best friend. The guy who's replacing him is the best friend of Ray Stevenson. So, and he played the Hound on Game of Thrones, for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans like me. So I think he'll do good. I think there's a lot riding on it for him, not necessarily career-wise, but just to honor his friend. I think there's a lot riding on it, and I think he's going to do the best job he can, and I think he's an amazing actor, so I think it's going to be amazing. Okay. I mean, I was a kid when Bewitched was on the air, and they literally just changed errands on us one day.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and nobody said anything about it. You know, just suddenly there was a different guy playing Darren. So
well, look at the Brady Bunch. They changed out, you know, Mr. Brady there. So
Roseanne changed one of her kids like halfway through the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm used to actors changing. That doesn't really bother me. I'm kind of surprised that Marvel didn't recast, what's his name? The big bad.
Chadwick Boseman.
No, not Chadwick Boseman. I kind of get that because they, you know, they handled that really well. The guy who played Kang, who, you know, went to jail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Instead, they're just going to suddenly write the big bad completely out of the MCU and replace him with Doctor Doom somehow. And good luck with that.
You know, he was really good in that. People mess up. Okay. We all know that.
Yeah.
He was on Lovecraft. on HBO. He was really good in that show. I think they could have given him another chance. I just think it's Disney not wanting to take the heat.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're a family brand, and you have to understand that, they're going to want to stay on brand with all of their actors. I did hear they finally came to an agreement with Gina Carano. I thought that was interesting.
And Lucasfilm has told her she can come back at any time if she wants to carry on her character. And I'm going, what? Really?
Yeah, I kind of had that moment too. It's like, didn't they kill her character off?
Sure so how do you recover from that one? Yeah. It's a miraculous rising. No.
It wasn't really her. It was really someone else.
Yeah.
They were kind of vague. I mean, they never technically said it was her, but they really implied it was her.
So what do you think about The Mandalorian?
Oh, I love The Mandalorian.
Did you like season 3?
Yes, I did. But once again,
it had some plot holes, but
I mean, it did, it's science fiction. They're out in space wearing helmets and jetpacks. Okay, it's not real.
Right.
And right. It's not real. So it's hard for me when someone's like, I just couldn't believe it. It's like, oh, really? What part could you not believe? The part where there's a magical light sword, or the part
or the light sword is giving the person, it's a black saber and it's giving the person holding it a problem. I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
it's fiction.
But I feel like
I think a lot of people.
I feel like Katie Sackhoff was a great addition to the cast. She's an amazing actress. Well, she's really taken the role and ran with it.
Oh yeah. I really think she's done a great job on The Mandalorian. Of course, she played Bo-Katan originally in Clone Wars, so it was cool. I mean, like it's not a joke. Like when they're in there in the pit and all of a sudden, Bo-Katan drops down and starts kicking butt. I literally went,
yeah. It was really good. Yeah.
I was really excited. Yeah. So super excited. I think it's interesting how in every season, the Mandalorian has been someone different. Like in the first season, Din Djarin is the Mandalorian. In the second season, we start seeing that, there's more Mandalorian there, and he's got the whole quest to take Grogu to turn him into a Jedi. But in the end, like I've always said, because people are like, oh, he's going to study with Luke. And I'm like, why would he do that? The name of the show is The Mandalorian, not The Jedi, So I think it's great, So then Grogu was the Mandalorian, and now
I do think it's weird, and I've kind of been mulling this over about how they could possibly fix it. When Luke is talking about when he started the Jedi Order and Ben came to study under him, wasn't Grogu supposed to be there?
See, I don't know. I mean, Grogu's like a brand new character. So I guess it's whatever John and Dave decide on that. But I kind of like the idea that Grogu was there for like a couple of days and then went, nope, I want to be a Mandalorian, and I think that's pretty cool.
And they made him his cute little outfit. Yeah.
His little chainmail. He had the little chainmail on.
What did you think about Obi-Wan? And the fact that they have greenlit a second season.
I'm glad they've greenlit a second season. I mean, I liked all the stuff with Obi-Wan and Leia. I know everybody liked all the fight scenes with, Anakin and Obi-Wan, and they were good. I like the way that they lit them with the lightsabers from a production standpoint. I thought that was just beautifully done. But to me, the fights were just a little too long, and I don't know, it seemed like the dialogue might have been a little forced in those. Like, I don't know. It was weird to me seeing Anakin still sort of Anakin and not fully Vader, even though he's very much fully Vader. I don't know. So
I thought maybe that when he cracks his respirator in half, I thought maybe his face would be a little bit more like we're used to seeing Anakin after the accident.
Yeah, like more burnt.
He didn't really look like, we were expecting.
He was looking, to me, he was still too much. There was and maybe that's the whole point, is that Anakin never really fully falls to the dark side, and that's why Luke is able to save him. I mean, maybe that's the whole, not to guess what the writers are going for, but maybe that's what they're going for.
Eyes. I love how they do Anakin's eyes from the movie to the show. I just, just to see that, that evil in his eyes, but that he's still kind of there, but he's just to the dark side.
Yeah. I hate to say I don't want to see him again in it, but I kind of don't want to see him again. I think every time we see Vader and Obi-Wan together, it reduces that whole moment where they meet in the original, where he goes, "When you last left, I was, now I am the master." Yeah. Now I am the master, and it's like, well, but wasn't he kind of the master when they were throwing giant rocks at each other? I mean,
yeah. So there's another plot hole they're going to have to see how they can fix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that big of a plot hole. It is what it is. They're just trying to be entertaining. Yeah.
Although I do wonder if, like J.J. Abrams said, well, I sat there and I watched it as a kid, and I'm not the biggest fan, but I wrote down some ways that it could be changed. And so that's what I did in the Kelvin universe.
Yeah, well, J.J. wasn't a big
fan. I love these people. Like, he wants to do a reboot of Back to the Future. I'm like, don't touch the classics.
No,
leave it alone.
Why? Yeah. Why would you reboot that? I mean, it's perfect the way it is. Don't touch it.
Nobody is ever going to be Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd together. Nobody.
Well, you don't. I mean, what are you going to do? Set it in modern times? It's silly. It works just as well in, it's going to work fine until, I mean, I guess now is the year they went to the future for the second one, but I mean, the first and the third movies hold up really well.
Do a continuation. Don't do a reboot. I'm so sick of reboots.
I would say do something with, like, their kids or something where, I mean, who inherits the DeLorean when dude dies? Somebody's got to inherit it eventually. Maybe.
Well, I mean, it was ran over by a train in 3, but they could pick up all the pieces and put it back together.
Yeah. I mean, you could rebuild the DeLorean. You could have, like, Christopher Lloyd's grandkids rebuild, finding the plans and rebuilding the DeLorean, something like that I could go for, but don't reboot it.
Yeah. Please just stop. Are they out of so much creativity in Hollywood that's all they can think to do? I mean,
well, and here's the other idea. If you want to do Back to the Future and you want to reboot it completely. Don't call it Back to the Future. Name it something else. Don't make it a DeLorean. Make it something else. But take the same basic idea. You go back in time and accidentally keep your parents from meeting, and and make a whole other movie about it. Like, we're here today because we both loved the Orville. At no point did Seth MacFarlane go, well, that's not true, because Seth MacFarlane wanted to make this Star Trek.
That's right. Well, there's a long story behind that too,
make this Star Trek. He didn't go, oh, I can't make it Star Trek. I'm just going to cry in the corner and go home. No, he changed all the names on stuff and made it his own thing. Yep. I mean, it's so much better than Star Trek. That's right. Because since he made it his own thing, he didn't have to follow all the canon. And that's what makes it great. He got to create his own canon.
When he was on Enterprise and he kept telling Rick and, all the writers, hey, I would love to be a part of this. Why don't you let me do some writing? I've got this great show, these 2 great shows that I'm doing awesome on, And they were like, nah. So
well,
I think that lit a fire under him.
I'm not lying. If someone had looked at me and said, so the guy who created Family Guy wants to do Star Trek, do you think he should be in charge of it? I think my answer probably would have been no. I mean, just based on Family Guy, you know, because you don't want Star Trek to be like Family Guy, you know? And I think it's funny because, like, when the Orville came on the air, you know, I was working at, I am still working at a local Fox affiliate. And I was told Seth MacFarlane, the person who told me about it called it Seth MacFarlane's generic Star Trek show.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, I'm like, well, you know, I mean, it's a Seth MacFarlane show. So after about the third season, it could stop being funny and they'll keep it on the air forever.
Yeah. And that was the draw for the first season was, hey, it's from the creator of Family Guy and American Dad. Yeah.
They told us, like, you know, it's Family Guy in space. You're going to love it. It's Family Guy in space. You know, and it's like after about the third episode, it was not Family Guy in space anymore.
No, absolutely.
And that was great. Because if it had just been Family Guy in space, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I'd have watched a couple of episodes and gone, yeah, it's okay.
So are you a Family Guy, American Dad, Ted fan?
Not really. I like the Ted TV show. I will say that because it's very much All in the Family, and I loved All in the Family. I grew up on, you know, it's so Norman Lear. I absolutely love the Ted TV show.
Rest in peace, Norman Lear. We miss you, man.
Yes, I know. I mean, he was so good. Anyway,
the legacy there is fantastic, and it rubbed off on so many people, especially Seth.
Yeah, but as far as Family Guy goes, for years I worked Sunday nights, so I never saw Family Guy. And all I really knew about it was that my ex-husband absolutely hated it. Like to the point that if I walked in the room, like when I would come home, if I would flip on the TV and it was even like I would come home for lunch and like the ending of Family Guy would be on, he'd be like, just turn it off. Seth MacFarlane's not funny.
That's my parents.
Like, okay,
yeah, my parents can't stand it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was actually a South Park fan.
Oh, I love South Park.
Futurama fan before I became a real Family Guy fan.
I love South Park. I've gone back and actually watched some because of like, you know, several people have been like, you like the Orville, you should go watch Family Guy. So I did go back and watch the first I guess the first 5 or 6 seasons of Family Guy. And I mean, it gets better. You know, I do remember I watched the very first episode of Family Guy when it came out.
It was rough.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I watched that very first season or the very first episode because we had watched a lot of, like, my kids were really into Cow and Chicken and Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab. And so we recognized the name Seth MacFarlane from those shows because he was a writer on those shows. So we were really excited when they were like, they're giving Seth MacFarlane a show and it's going to be an adult show and it's going to be in prime time. And so, you know, we sat down and watched that first episode and I was like, this is the worst show ever. I was like, he should go back to Dexter's Lab, man.
This last week, he was on Where Everybody Knows Your Name podcast with Ted Danson.
I listened to that. It was very good.
He was telling everybody, well, Fox only gave me $40,000, where you normally get like 100% more than that. And
yeah,
he's like, I sat in my apartment for 6 months putting that together. And I'm like, God bless you, man.
I mean, I mean, and it shows. I mean, it kind of shows.
But we have to, you know, everybody starts somewhere, but to start from that, I mean,
yeah,
it was like they were rooting for him to fail. Well, here's $40,000.
And yet he did great. I mean, you know, he did that, and he obviously the first episode had massive issues, but I mean, he learned from it and he moved on. And I mean, you know, it eventually got to be very funny. I laugh at some of it sometimes, occasionally.
My favorite is the Star Wars. That is my all-time favorite. Everybody sits there and makes fun of Star Wars. Come on. We all, like, I could sit there now and watch the Family Guy Star Wars, and I'm going, you missed out on an opportunity here. Or you missed out on, because we all remember, you know, we all ingrain Star Wars into our brain.
I think my favorite is, and I don't even know the name of the episode, but it's the one where Peter's on TV and he says, "Well, really grinds my gears." I think that's my favorite because my dad used to say that. Whenever my dad was a mechanic, whenever he got mad, he'd be all like, you know what really grinds my gears? I'll tell you. Like, okay.
That's funny.
So I thought that was cute that, because I'd never
I
heard
actually
anyone
have a
else say
segment
it.
like that for Galactic Cafe where Dr. Omega actually made me a graphic. You
awesome.
like it so much. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I don't do it very often because I try to avoid talking about politics or religion or just stupid stuff. But
it's incredibly
as a mom, I get pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's hard not to. There's a lot of crazy going on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So who is it Suno?
Suno. Yes. Suno okay, is my AI writing partner.
Okay.
Yes. And so
how did that come up? So do you use a lot of AI? I'm going to come out and say it. My new theme song is AI, but Dr. Omega made it.
Here's, okay. You're not going to hear me complain about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go back. I started writing music. I started writing song lyrics when I was 12.
Okay.
Okay. And then I started writing songs in college. Like, well, I took music theory in high school because I was in high school band, but I mean, it's hard to write rock and roll on a clarinet. So, started writing songs. Come on,
it's jazzy.
Yeah, I was trying. Somewhere around high school, I tried to learn how to play guitar, but I'm like the worst guitarist in the world. Like, I played guitar for 15 years straight and could never even play a 3-chord song successfully. So, somewhere right around at the end of when I got out of college, cakewalk became a thing. Like, synthesizers had kind of already taken over, and now cakewalk and drum machines were becoming really popular. And so I got cakewalk one year for Christmas, and I started writing songs in cakewalk, and all of my friends who were musicians were just like, how dare you use a computer to write music? Oh my God, what are you? It's like it was just the greatest abomination in the whole world. So I'm kind of over it now that we're to AI helping me write music. It's like, yeah, whatever. I remember this whole argument from when I had a drum machine. So, but yeah, so Suno came out, and I was actually on my way from my first job to my second job, and I was listening to John and Deke on the radio, their local DJs, and they had taken one of my sports guys' tweets and ran them through Suno, and we're playing them on the air because one of our other sportscasters does like a little show with them, and they were talking about Suno, and they had turned his tweets into a song, and I was just fascinated by that. So I went to my second job and then cleaned, and then when I got done, I went home and I immediately looked at it, and like, that was Friday. So like, the next day was Saturday. So Saturday I spent all day, I'm like, stuffing stupid song lyrics in there. And I thought, because I'd been thinking for a while, it's like, I really want to write, because I'd already done the musical Mondays where I'd done.
I love like that.
A pop song.
I think that's how we gelled more, was you and I were going back and forth with, like I was sharing my parodies out. And you were like, okay, let's do this for Musical Monday. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So I decided to do Musical Monday. And so I actually had AI help me write the first song. Well, okay. So I told AI to write a song about the first episode of the Orville, and it wrote the worst, like lyrically, it wrote the worst song ever. So I went through and I edited it. So a lot of, like, in Old Wounds, there are still some lines that the computer wrote. But that's the only one that really has any AI in it as far as lyrics go. But I only had like 50 credits, so you can make like 10 songs on 50 credits, and then you gotta wait till the next day. So I did that with Old Wounds, and I liked Old Wounds, and I did Command Performance, and it was okay. I didn't hate the song for Command Performance. And then I guess About a Girl was next, and it was an okay song. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Until I got to Priya. Priya was the first one that I really think sounded like what I wanted it to sound like. Because I really wanted it to be like this rock song about this 80s pop song about a horrible woman. There's a song by a group called Night Ranger called Penny. called Penny. That was kind of the inspiration for it. That's like a huge deep cut from an incredibly old album. But I wanted to kind of be like Penny, and it was the first song that I thought really sounded a lot like that. And then when I did Krill, I had to actually pay money because you, like I said, you could do 10 versions of a song a day, and then you had to wait till the next day and create 10 more versions of it. And I blew through like 4 days worth of, trying to get it to say Tamina Madeem. Like it couldn't say Tamina. And then so it finally said Tamina Madeem. It couldn't say Ancana. So I got to where it could say Ancana and Tamina Madeem. And then I'm like, okay, yes, we finally got it. I got a version of it. It doesn't suck. They can say Ancana. They can sing Tamina Madeem. And then it gets to the third verse. It goes, came here to make Xeroxes. And I'm like, Xeroxes? Xeroxes, not Xeroxes. Didn't say Xeroxes. So I was like, screw this. I'm just going to pay the money so I can make, and there are probably 700 versions of Krill that I made before I came up with one that I didn't hate, and then after that, I became very picky about them because, I had tons of credits because I was paying. So I was like, I want the songs to sound really good, and I want the lyrics to be really good and appropriate for the song, and try to have the music match the theme of the song. And so Suno.
That's awesome. See, whereas I was taking songs that were already out there, like Chewing on Broken Glass.
Oh yeah.
Was from when they were, had the time,
I'd rather chew broken glass
device and all that stuff. And Ed actually says that.
I'd rather chew broken glass
than talk about temporal displacement or whatever. Yeah.
Philosophy.
Yeah. And I think Todd Lehman took it a step further, where he was actually singing his songs, which was pretty cool. But he also did his comic book.
Yeah. Oh, his comic book is amazing. I mean, that's so much went into that. I really hope he does another one. I mean, he needs to do another series of those because they were just beautifully done.
Oh, yeah. 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 He was so great on. I'm going to pass that along to him. I think we should go out there and say, yes. Hey, Todd, guess what we want?
We want another comic.
Yeah. Yes, make up some more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make up something.
I mean, I kind of wish that they would pay more attention to the fans, especially like a planetary step.
Yes. You talking about the Eisenberg?
Yeah, they did. Yep. They did great.
I almost put the Eisenberg in the little fan novel I wrote, but I didn't know if it would make Smoke mad.
Oh,
and I didn't want him to get mad at me. And I was like, I don't know.
He's pretty understanding. I think if you just, asked him about it.
Well, I was literally like typing at the time, and I was like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. You know what? We'll just use another ship. So I used the Titan instead of the Eisenberg, but it was almost the Eisenberg.
Nice.
Almost.
Yeah. So where do you see, are you going to keep creating new songs?
Yes. Okay. So last year I had COVID. Well, first off, I've been writing since I was 13. I've been songwriting since I wrote a whole bunch of stuff. I was really active doing open mic night up until the pandemic. And then all the open mic nights in Fayetteville stopped, which is understandable. I used to write a lot of dumb songs on my iPad. I actually have a song called The Stupid Song. And you can hear a lot of these songs if you go to my YouTube channel and scroll all the way to the back because they're there. They're just buried now under a whole bunch of Orville. By
the way, she's pointing down. There is her YouTube channel. Go out there and subscribe.
But then I had COVID, and after COVID, I mean, I don't want to say I couldn't sing because, I could still sing. It just wasn't very good, and I didn't enjoy hearing myself sing. It was just really depressing for me. So I let Suno do all the singing. But Suno is upped its game a little bit. It's getting ready to up it even more. When I logged in yesterday, they were like, how would you like to do the beta for Suno Studio, where you will be able to upload multiple tracks, lay them out, and then have the AI work with those tracks. Nice. And I'm super excited about that. It's okay. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's where great. It's going. Supposedly now you can upload your own stuff and it'll work with that, but I've yet to get it to really do that effectively for me. But that technically is all still in beta too. So I'm just waiting as it grows and it gets, I don't want to say as the AI gets smarter, because that's not it, but it's as what you're able to do with the AI becomes broader and broader, and you're able to deal with separate tracks individually. It's going to become a very powerful songwriting tool. Very Absolutely. Good. Very I'm cool. So excited about it.
I love it when they make new versions and they ask you to test them out.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to be asked to do those kinds of things.
Yeah. So I'm on the list for the beta of the Suno Studio. So I'm excited about that. And I'm hoping with that, because now my voice is starting to come back. So I'm starting to feel a little more confident about singing something. My goal is the next thing I release will be something I actually sing. It's not just going to be me writing the lyrics and then letting Suno kind of take it from there. It's going to be me writing the lyrics and then vocalizing them, and then hopefully Suno will go, okay, let's put some music behind it, and we'll see how many times I have to tell it to rewrite it before I don't hate it.
Okay, that's awesome.
So, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. So you also write fan fiction?
Yeah, I write Orville fan fiction, and I have a half-written Kino Lloyd. I can't leave Kino there. I'm sorry. He has to get off of Narkina 5. I realized that Tony Gilroy didn't do it. I gave him all of season 2, but yeah, I gotta write Kino Loy off of there. So that's actually the short story I'm working on right now.
Okay, awesome. And where can we find your fan fiction at?
My fan fiction is linked. It's actually on a website called Tales from the Planetary Union, and it's at the very top of my X profile. It should be linked up there.
Okay.
There should be a link.
As a lot of people know, I started writing fan fiction. I've got a couple stories, but I want to copyright them first because I've heard some things, but I'm not going to, discuss it here.
Yeah.
But it's always good to, protect your own writing.
I didn't really worry about that.
When you never know when they might come knocking at the door and say, hey, we like your fan fiction, can we use it?
Technically when it's created, it's copywritten. That's the way copyright law is. Yes, you get added protection by registering your copyright with the Library of Congress, which by the way does not have any children's that come to visit it. Just want to say that real quick. Not even sure why I wanted to say it. It just kind of did. The Library of Congress, they handle copyrights. They handle copyrights. They aren't really a real library. It's a word that they use for it. But yeah, when you create it, it's copywritten anyway. You have copyright protection for anything you write. Yeah, the second you finish writing it, you get more protections from that. But here's the thing. I'm not that worried about it. If Seth MacFarlane steals all of my ideas, it's just going to prove that he has no ideas of his own. And
that's right. And that's not true.
And I will say this right now, in case Seth is listening, they're all for sale.
There you go.
I'll sell them very, very cheap. Probably a lot cheaper than it would cost if, say, someone in LA wrote them, because someone in LA doesn't live in Arkansas and they don't have a kid that went to college out of state. So they're sell dirt cheap. Any one of my ideas, call me.
There you go.
We can do that. We can make it happen.
Which I don't doubt that there's not people at Fuzzy Door that see stuff and listen and just interesting. But for season 4, what would you like to see?
Okay, well, there are a lot of things that they just have to deal with. You've got to deal with the fact that you don't have Yaff anymore. Whether you write him off the show or whether he splits, which I would like to see him split. They got to deal with Yaff. They got to deal with the the fallout from Talea, because so Talea has been captured by the Union. Who's in charge at Krill? Who does that, what happens to the Krill infrastructure, at the Krill chain of command when the head of Krill, what happens to the Krill Mocklin alliance? I mean, I can't imagine that's still going to be a thing, because the Krill think they're divine. And, one of the reasons why they didn't like Talea's predecessor was because he made that deal with the humans and they aren't divine. Well, the Mocklins aren't divine either. And I think they proved that in the last battle. So, I mean, there's obviously some problems there. Is this going to make the Krill more xenophobic? Does it make them more or less likely to trust outsiders? Are they going to, are they going to ramp up
war breaking out? I could see a civil war breaking out between
is there going to be
and the liberals? Yeah.
Is there going to be a civil war? Is there going to be continued war with the Planetary Union? Are they going to become more isolationist? I mean, there's a lot you can do there. What happens with the Mocklins? Mocklins aren't members of the Planetary Union anymore. They're mad. They're a species of all men, and they've just been emasculated. So what happens then? What's the next thing they're going to do? And I don't, like, in my little fan fiction novel, obviously I had them go after the sanctuary planet. And I think that's just kind of a logical course of action.
But the sanctuary planet now has, protection from the Union. So, that's an interesting plot line to follow.
Yeah. So there's that. What happens with the Kaylon? The Kaylon joined the Union. They're now Union members. But how does that change them? How does being friends with biologicals change how the Kaylon think about themselves and think about other entities? There's a lot there. I actually went through a whole thing in my novel with how they reacted to the death of Charlie Burke, and how they and that, I don't want to spoiler it too much, but in that story, I really wanted to look at how we'll put people on pedestals for strange reasons, like, and they, anyway, to spoiler it, the Kaylon started like a little kind of Charlie Burke kind of cult where they all serve pancakes to their friends and sing songs that were jingles from 1970s perfume commercials. And
that's great.
Are you old enough to get that? Yeah, because they call it Charlie.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The Charlie commercial
for a second. Yeah.
yeah. I had him sing the Charlie commercial anyway. But yeah, so I mean, I want to see that. I want to see a musical episode so much. I wrote a musical episode. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I really think they need to do a musical episode. And yeah.
Well, and as I've been saying, I'm sorry, but Seth has gone far enough without singing on the Orville.
He's got to sing
he
at some
deny
point.
It anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. He should totally sing something.
I mean, on Thursday nights when we do Orville Thursdays, we kind of sit here and we brainstorm and we're going, what if Seth has his own Rick Fontana character? Where he's the lounge lizard and it's not really Ed, it's Seth. You know what I'm saying? And they
I do. Yeah. One of the things I did in it, I when I wrote the musical episode, I put it all inside his head. I'm not going to really explain how, but in case you want to read it, but and if you get to chapter 3 and you're bored, just skip to chapter 4 because chapter 4 is much better than chapter 3. Just saying. But yeah, so it all happens in his head, and it's been established because he has it's said in the show, his parents raised him on the classical musical theater, kind of the way Seth was raised on classical musical theater.
So
it's all these kind of musical songs that are in his head that bleed, for lack of a better term, bleed into his reality, but it's not really reality because it's kind of in his head, but it's not really in his head. But you'll just have to read it. It's one of the best things I think I've ever written.
Okay.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Chapter 4.
Okay, chapter 4. Like, I have a Pirates episode where I would love Bill Shatner to be the lead pirate.
I have heard you say that, and every time you say that, I think the same thing. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Space Pirates. I also have another one where the function of the Kalon is actually put into all the Planetary Union ships, and so that everybody can have that vantage point of what Isaac and Timish go through.
Yeah.
We've also kind of been mulling around, the split of Yaphet, and it becomes a set of twins. And so following, that was Sabrina's. Do you know Sabrina at Play?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's
written several like actual screenplays.
Yeah. She's got a great screenplay. I wish they'd pick it up. It's a really good story.
I've not read the story yet. She let me read one page of it.
Yeah, I've got to read the whole thing. It's really good. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to, she's got great. She comes up with some really good plot lines. Like, I think Isaac should have like a body like Data. I'm kind of working on that one right now.
Yeah, I actually kind of wrote that. That was in my season finale, for lack of better terms, the last episode. I set it up for Mark to just be Mark, to not have to wear any of it, because you're on Twitter, and we're all on Twitter and Instagram and whatever. And you see all of these new developments in AI robotics, and they look pretty real now.
Oh,
this is 400 years in the future. They can't make a robot that looks like Mark Jackson. Get out of here. Yeah. I mean, it's time to get him out of that helmet.
Yeah. And it's only fair. I mean, he shouldn't have to stay in the the robot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's time that he had more of a human looking body, and actually created a it's kind of like a long story arc, because it starts kind of sort of at the beginning, and then it
which
moves.
is what the Orville is known for. The long story arc.
Well, I always think of it as Chekhov's gun. Like, they're in theater, there's Chekhov's gun, and you introduce the gun in the first act, it's got to be fired in Act 3, So I Chekhov's gunned a lot of stuff in my novel. I introduced this idea of, being able to make the Kalon look human, and then I introduced this idea of, John and Tala being able to have sex, and I'm not telling you how, but you have to read it. But then that becomes important later when something happens, and that piece of equipment that allows things to work, becomes important later for other things. So yeah.
In mine, I start with Timish because he has the emotions already.
Yeah.
And then I move him forward in the new body. And then it translates to Isaac later on.
The way I did it was, okay, so at the end of Domino, when we're watching Domino, and everybody leaves the control room, and Charlie Burke is there, and she's doing her thing, and Kalon Primary is just standing there staring at her for like 30 seconds, which is an eternity on film screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he staring at her? What is he doing? And I thought on that for a really long time, and I decided that he had to be scanning her, because they don't really have eyes. Their eyes are just, lights, so that you know where to kind of look at them. But yeah, so I was like, well, he scanned her. Well, why did he scan her? Well, she was sacrificing herself. He didn't understand that, so they get onto the Orville, and he has explained to him, yes, she gave her life so that you could survive, so that all your people could survive. And so I made it to where Kalon Primary gets kind of a Messiah complex with Charlie as the Messiah, and creates a Kalon version of Charlie Burke that looks just like Charlie Burke.
Oh boy.
And ultimately that's the upgrade for the next Kalons. So all the Kalons start getting this Charlie Burke upgrade. So all the Kalon turn into Charlie Burke, which makes Isaac go, and they're like, Isaac, don't you want the upgrade? And he goes, I think I want to do something else with the upgrade.
I want to be different. Yeah.
And so he starts he gets Kalon, Charlie Burke, to help him start building this, Mark, Isaac, thing. And so at the end, like in the last episode, when we were, when something very tragic happens to Isaac's body, since he's not connected to the Kalon Connecto network, his consciousness gets put into this little like backup body that he's had stashed in the science lab, which is at the moment just his head. And so for the first half of the season finale, John Lamar is carrying around his head on this like
kind of like what they did with Data there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, just like carrying around his head, and like yeah. So I think
like
that
before,
can be visually,
when they found
it would
before.
be visually funny.
Yeah,
but, we'll see.
Yeah,
like I said,
that. That's great. Yeah,
nobody's going to be stealing my ideas probably, but I am really curious to see what they're going to do.
But I love that we all are on kind of the same plot line, but yet we all have a different way of looking at it. That's what I like about the fan fiction for the Orville.
And I mean, I can't wait to see what, Brandon and David and Seth and Andre, I can't wait to see what they do. I really can't. I'm so excited.
I know for sure Sympathy for the Devil is going to be a 2 or 3 parter.
Oh yeah, you've got to do that. I mean,
that novella is fantastic.
It's fantastic, and it very much meets the moment that we're in, and I think that's really important for the whole kind of franchise.
Yeah. Of course, we all want to know what's going to happen to Anaya. We've been kicking around that she's already grown up with Koja, and they're leading the resistance on Krill.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Literally
the
the first chapter in my book is called Anaya, and it's literally just, it's the only chapter that doesn't have any subtext. The whole subtext is he goes and gets Anaya. That's just it. Him and Gordon go pick her up and they bring her back. It's not, there's not a lot of, there's the whole drama of she's not safe because her mom, was taken away, and
and Civil War. See, in mine,
it's just not safe on Krill anymore. So yeah, I think that's
I created a new character kind of off Barkley.
Oh yeah,
but she's been sheltered her whole life. She's actually an admiral. I'm not going to tell which one, but she's actually an admiral's daughter in a roundabout way. And her grandparents were royalty in the Union. Her grandmother was an ambassador. And so after her grandmother dies, she has to sneak out and join the Union. And her dad helps her do that. But she's the environmental simulator tech for the Orville. Wow. And it's just some of the things that, she does is funny, like Barkley is what my premise is. But there, just some of the stuff that she does cracks not only the crew up, but she's kind of the comic relief in my stories. So, but I could just see a Barkley-like figure coming into season 4.
Oh yeah.
Or even if we get a season 5, something funny like that.
Well, here's the thing. If we get a 4, I think we're going to get a 5 and maybe a 6. I think if it's going to get picked back up, they'll pick it up for a couple of seasons, surely. Surely they're not going to be like, okay, it's been 3 years since this show's been on the air, so we're going to do one more season.
And we're still in the top 15 streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Think
about it. I'm not even watching it every day anymore. Because there's other stuff. I did a whole Star Wars rewatch of all things Star Wars. It's pretty crazy. But yeah,
even then, Star Wars isn't like on the highest streaming. But of course, Disney doesn't always put out their numbers either.
They don't like putting out numbers now,
and they've stopped. They're going to stop doing that for Hulu. So, full merger. So
yeah, I said it online the other day. I every day I'm surprised Hulu still exists.
Next year.
I wondered why it had taken so long, and I realized they announced it right after The Handmaid's Tale ended. So they were waiting on that because they were afraid if they tried moving it to Disney, no one would follow. Is all I can think.
I think another part of that I have heard through the grapevine is that it's so dystopian that Disney is the family company that it wouldn't translate well but Hulu's still going to be a tile that you can go to, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I figure they're going to keep that for that kind of non-Disney branded
like
stuff.
Touchstone Pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is going to be a sequel show, a spinoff. It's called The Testaments.
Okay.
I don't know if they've started production on it yet. I know they were writing it, but there is a book. There's a second book called The Testaments. Really good book. Really good books. But it's becoming harder and harder to find copies. Wonder why.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. So, but anyways. But no, Seth even addressed that on that podcast. He's like, you know, it's a really damn good show, but it's so dark. He's like, it's so much dystopian. When I was in LA, the first week of July, he wasn't kidding. I mean, they were trying to replace a lot of that with the Naked Gun stuff. Like we were looking all around, and it was either Happy Gilmore 2, The Naked Gun, or dystopian, you know? Lots of horror movies, yeah. So, but have you seen The Naked Gun?
I have not.
Did you like the original movies?
On my list. Oh, no, I love the original movies. It is on my list. Like, I will probably go see it next weekend when I get paid. I couldn't afford to see it last weekend because I had bills. And then this weekend is like not payday weekend, so can't afford to see it this weekend. So probably next weekend. Yeah, I am planning on going and seeing it at the theater because I have not heard anything but good things about it.
Oh,
I mean, I've heard it's hysterical.
You love it.
It looks amazing. And
it's not the regular Naked Gun. That's all I'm going to say. And I think that's the comedy that we need right now. Now, my daughter goes, Mom, this comedy is so stupid. I said, that's the point. I said,
like, oh, child.
He goes, what is the Naked Gun? I'm going, we watched the originals the whole time you grew up. You don't remember. She goes, no. So I brought him home. It's on Paramount Plus. Go watch it. Go watch all 3 movies. But, you know, they were going, oh, the comedy makes sense now. My boys know all about it. They love those movies. They go, really?
I took the kids to see Dogma, the 25th edition of Dogma. That was the last film we went and saw. And it was so funny because we got there and we're sitting in the theater and I'm like, now I know you guys have seen this a million times. And they were like, we don't know what this movie is. And I'm like, y'all have seen this movie a million times. And they're like, no, Mom, we haven't. And I'm like, this movie used to be the movie I would play every Sunday morning. Instead of taking you to church, I would just put Dogma in the DVD player.
That's great.
And Aiden goes, wait, is this the one with the poop monster? I go, yes, it is. And that's literally all they had remembered from Dogma was the poop monster. So yeah, so it was interesting to have them watch it now that they're grown up, and they were like, oh yeah, it's very good. Of course, no wonder you showed this to us as a child. Yeah, but I thought it was so funny. It's like the only thing the kid remembered of it was the poop monster.
I got to meet Jason Mewes this last time at Missouri Comic-Con. He is so cool, and I said, excuse me, you were supposed to bring Jason. He's like, I couldn't get him to come, or Kevin. Sorry, you're supposed to be Kevin. And he's like, I couldn't get him to come.
I met him at Planet Comic-Con one year. And I mean, he's so nice. So nice. Such a great guy.
He's very nice. Very funny. He's definitely not his character in the movies. He's totally different.
No, he's very sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money?
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know. I'm so upset at Dark Helmet right now because he went and got himself a shirt that says Spaceballs, the t-shirt.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. This is the thing that I never understood, like starting in the 80s and 90s. I had this whole question of what happened to Mel Brooks. Because Mel Brooks was like an integral part of my childhood growing up.
Oh, yeah.
All of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
We watched all of them over and over and over. Like when VHS came out, I can't tell you how many times I've seen History of the World. I literally just can't.
Mine was Blazing Saddles. I make a joke. It's called the Grand Admiral Dadby's School of Comedy. That was my dad's introduction to us, was Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, all of them. Oh, Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I just
high anxiety.
My only question really is, why did it take him so long to make another Spaceballs? You know, some of us have been waiting since the 80s for another Spaceballs. And
it makes me wonder, and I never get my question answered. I think he made an agreement with George Lucas. One movie.
I mean, maybe.
I think he talked him into another one.
My question is,
why
didn't he just make something else?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went from making like just brilliant films over and over and being everywhere and being just like the guy. And then poof, he was gone. You know, it's like, what, you know, when they were like, oh, Mel Brooks is making it, I was literally, because I don't know if you saw the TV series History of the World.
I did.
The new one. It's very good. It's very
funny.
good, by the way. If you haven't watched it, it's very funny. And
it has a lot of Nick Kroll comedy and Wanda Sykes comedy. And,
Wanda Sykes is brilliant.
I'm going to say it also has Quinta Brunson's comedy in it, which she's Abbott Elementary. The only thing I'm going to warn people about is, if you haven't seen Big Mouth and Human Resources, that's Nick Kroll comedy. Watch an episode, and then you'll understand History of the World Part 2. It's got the Mel Brooks-esque, but he's branching out to other people to help.
He is branching out.
He's 99 years old, right?
I mean, why did he wait?
He's up
Why
there.
did he wait that long? Why would you wait that long? He should have come back sooner.
That's true.
I mean, that's my only thing.
He did Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yep.
And then
saw that at the theater.
And then he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to wonder if maybe, like, he was married to Anne Bancroft for years. And of course, she's Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if her health was just bad, that he needed to devote time to the family. And so,
I mean, I was starting to wonder if he was dead.
A lot of people said
we hadn't heard from him. And then suddenly, oh, he's back and he's got a show. And I'm like, he's still alive. Why wasn't he working? You know, I mean, he should have been working. I like it. It bought, like, when Gilda Radner died.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder walked away from his entire career.
Yeah, it really.
And I have always wondered why he never walked back when his kids graduated high school and went to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I mean, they've got to be grown now. They probably have kids of their own. Why isn't he acting again? I mean,
did you mean Rick Moranis?
No, I mean Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder did the same thing that Rick Moranis did. Yeah. Rick Moranis is coming back, and I'm really proud.
Well, and Rick's kind of been delayed because he got punched in the face by those terrorist idiots in New York.
Oh, wow.
They were stalking him. He was supposed to come back for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and he got punched in the face and he backed out.
Oh, wow.
And he kind of has, what is that called? Agoraphobia or something like that, where he has the fear of the public.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he's coming back for Spaceballs 2, and we're really excited about that.
I'm really excited, but you know, I just
it's like, people, can't you just mind your own business and leave them alone? They're human beings. They're not, yes, they're celebrities, but they're still human beings.
Well, and here's the other thing that people don't get. They're not rich.
Right.
Okay, they're not. I mean, yeah.
They blow their money like we all do.
Seth is rich because Seth is a writer and producer and owns,
and he recycles the money into other projects which make money, and he knows how to keep it going. Plus, he has merchandising rights out the wazoo.
Yeah, but like, you know, someone who's just an actor and that's all they do, they're just in TV shows, especially TV shows. Those people don't make shit. Okay, they really don't. They make not many actors are like Liam Neeson, where they can raise their kids and keep making money and keep working. And, you know, he had his wife's family to help out with the boys. Yeah.
So that's the reason why he got to keep working.
I mean, it's just, so people, it cracks me up because people think they're all, rich and powerful and control the world, and they're actors. They just read lines on TV and that's all they do. Okay.
I mean,
and then they go wait tables.
Like I was sharing, I put out the content. I do snippets of my content after we do a show. And I went and I grabbed the Barbara Walters Fascinating Person special from 2012 where Seth was on it. And she goes, hey, Family Guy is going to be worth $2 billion and XYZ. He's like, oh, is that what it's worth? He goes, I'm frugal. He's like, I don't pay attention to that stuff. Yeah.
Just $2 billion.
And he is one of the most generous philanthropic guys out there.
Oh yeah.
Like he turns over, he just gives it away,
He seems like a really good guy. And he could give it away to me for like my right,
Yeah.
Just saying.
We can all use a donation from the Orville.
Just saying, I have a lot of interesting plot ideas that are for sale.
Exactly. But we all love the Orville. We want it to come back. We're tired of Disney stalling.
Very tired of it. Well, I don't think, Mike, I'm not putting the blame on Disney, and I'm not putting the blame on Hulu. I'm putting the blame where the blame belongs. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit from this saying this, but I'm putting the blame on Seth because Seth's the one that went and signed a 4-year deal with Universal, pretty much guaranteeing that for 4 years.
Actually longer than that now.
Make the Orville, I mean,
because he's making so much money. Yeah, they've extended it. Yep.
But
and a lot of us were thinking, well, why can't the Orville just jump ship from Disney and go to Universal? Now remember when he was shopping. Well, wait, hold on. When he was shopping Ted, Fox laughed in his face. Disney laughed in his face. Universal said, "Hey, come on, let's do this." Yeah, and they've helped him build Screen View. Yeah. So I mean, the last season of the Orville, that little push for the CGI, he paid for that because Disney said no. So maybe he needs to quit being such a perfectionist. I get it. It's your pet project. You want it to be beautiful and glamorous, but
I just want it to be. Okay.
Yes.
Just have it be.
Yeah.
Be.
But I mean, when they started ripping up the sets out of Fox Studio, which were poured in concrete, I was dying inside. I was like,
I honestly thought it was canceled.
I know.
I really thought it was canceled. And if they came out tomorrow and went, it's canceled, I'd be like, well, yeah, it ain't been on the air for 3 years.
No, I'm going to come out and say, no, I don't believe that.
I mean, I'm more shocked that I keep hearing, yes, it's still going to be a thing because, I mean, name a show that this has happened to. Name a show that's gone this long without an episode and still on the air. It doesn't. I mean, especially a sci-fi show. Nobody wants to invest in sci-fi shows.
I know. And it's ridiculous because people want sci-fi. People want comedy. Yeah. People don't want reality TV. I mean, no. When I worked for the CBS Fox affiliate here, I got over Survivor and Amazing Race. I got over it.
And that's all the networks are doing now because now see, I feel like I'm talking about work. So what they've found is that nobody does appointment TV anymore. Like when we were like in the 90s, everybody Thursday night, 9 o'clock or Thursday night, 7 o'clock, everybody watched NBC because you watched, Friends and Seinfeld and, that whole lineup going into ER, and it was appointment television. There's no such thing as appointment television for comedy or drama anymore. People watch that when they want to watch it, which I think is amazing because I work nights and I want to watch it when I'm available to watch it. But so what they've decided is the things that people absolutely tune in and watch live are things that are live. And so, or look like they're live. What we in the business call look live. But things like The Masked Singer and The Voice and competition shows and football, of course.
I was absolutely shocked that American Idol got canceled.
I'm
was
still
absolutely
surprised.
shocked.
I don't know. I guess I'm not that surprised because it got canceled on Fox before it got canceled on ABC. You know, the question now is, will CBS pick it up? Or NBC? I mean, it's still got 2 networks left they can go to.
Right.
You know, I mean, knowing Perry Sook, it could end up on the CW. I mean, would not.
That would be
me.
shocking. That would be.
Yeah,
shocking.
it wouldn't surprise me. They've turned the CW into pretty much nothing but reality TV shows now. I mean, so yeah, so that's why there's a lot of reality TV, and that's why I don't really watch TV like that anymore. I watch almost everything on demand. I have like a list of what I call my regular subscribes that I check, like my YouTube subscribes that I check every day to see if they've put anything new out. People like you and JP and PJ and Legal and the Y-Files and Professor Iraq. I mean, I check all 3, you know, all of those every single day. And if there's any new content, I watch that. But I mean, mostly I just, you know, I watch stuff on demand. I just got done rewatching all of Star Wars. The very beginning. Like I started with Acolyte, and then because I watched it in chronological order, so I started with Acolyte,
and that's how you should. Yeah,
Phantom Menace, and the original, all the movies, all the episodes, all the shows, and all the way through Resistance, and then the final ones. Yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. Did you watch the cartoons as well?
Oh yeah,
cool. Yeah. See, you can't say you've watched it all until you at least throw in the Clone Wars and Rebels. You really can't say it.
I honestly watch Rebels once a year. Oh, it's probably my favorite Star Wars out of, you know, really as far as storylines go. I think Kanan Jarrus' story arc is one of the best story arcs ever written.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jedi Knight always makes me cry.
Yep. Yeah.
Always. Every time. I cry every single time. And I know it's coming. Like this time when I was doing the rewatch, I literally stopped on the episode before Jedi Knight and like didn't watch for a week because I was like, I don't want to be sad. And I know I'm going to be sad because I know what's happening and I know I'm going to be sad. So, and you got to be in the right state of mind for it.
And there's only so much Orville you can watch. I think I'm on my 50th viewing.
Oh yeah.
Dark Helmet is on his 100th, I think.
Oh wow.
He leaves it on the background. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I stopped after 15. I mean, I didn't stop watching after 15. I just stopped counting after 15. It was like, I know I've seen them all.
I go back and I watch it. I'm going, how did I miss that? Yeah.
I mean, there's always stuff like, you know, I went back and rewatched, like I'd rewatch every episode before I wrote a song. And then I'd rewatch the episode again while writing the song because I'd sit and make notes and be like, I like that line, want to use this line, got to find a way to make this line work with that line, you know, kind of stuff. So, yeah.
That's what I do when I do my quotes of the day for Orville Thursdays is I watch it, I record it, and then I go through and snip it and edit it for the quote. And it gets, we just need new Orville, period.
We really do.
Need new Orville.
You know, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Todd Lehman needs to give us a comic book to tide us over.
That's right. And actually, David A. Goodman and David Caviezel, we need new Orville comic books. We're actually
they could give us real comic books.
Yeah. We've already done the first set in between seasons 1 and 2, and then we're going to be doing the second set as a radio drama between I believe Alyssa said tomorrow, and the last episode.
Okay.
So yeah, but we're going to try to make it more of a radio drama. I got to go through and start now getting the sound effects and stuff. But we're really trying.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It was really fun the first time. It was really, they're beautiful.
It was really fun.
Yeah. They're beautiful comics.
They really are beautiful comics.
And David draws my logo every season. I love working with him. He's a gem. He really is.
He does amazing work. He really does.
Yeah. He's working with Maria from T and Telly right now on her graphic novel series, Vampira. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Come out. Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Yeah. So, but there's lots of changes going on for Orville Nation and Inspiration TV and Maria Watiantelli. They're growing like we are here at Sci Fi Mombie. We're all in the same network. So we all try to, be friends and do all that fun stuff together.
Yeah, we all do better when we all do better.
That's right. That's right. Egotastic is a part of that as well. Trying to think of what he's following Twisted Metal, which is fantastic. Season 2 of Twisted Metal is kick ass.
I have not watched that yet, which is weird because like we played the game so much when it came out that it's weird to me. I haven't even watched it, but you know what? I should watch that.
Anthony Mackie and Stephanie.
Love Anthony Mackie.
I never say her last name right, so I'm not going to butcher it. They are
Stephanie
quiet, and John's character are just perfect together in that show. They couldn't have casted anybody better, I think.
It looked really good. I started to watch the first episode, and then something happened. Like, the laundry went off, or who knows? I mean, some mom thing happened, and I ended up not watching the first episode, and I never went back and watched it again. So I need to go back and watch that because I mean,
really like it. It's really good.
We played that game so much when it came out. I mean, so much.
I'm ready for Ted season 2. And
I'm ready for Ted season 2.
When it comes out, so will we on Wednesday afternoons. I believe that's when they're going to be releasing them. I'm ready for Mission Log the Orville to come back with their Talking Ted series. That was so much fun. They do a lot of great fun. So, but you are always welcome here, Stony Girl.
Oh, well, thank you.
Now, is there a song you would like me to play off of your YouTube?
You can play whichever one is your favorite.
Well, how about I play the newest one?
Okay, wait, which one is the newest one?
I know, you tell me. I was thinking it's the one that popped up on the screen. Future Unknown. No, that one's 7.
Oh yeah, play Future Unknown. That's a good one. It's not the newest one. The newest one was one I did for Andor, but it's not Orville themed. So Future Unknown is legitimately my favorite song I've ever written. I can't believe I wrote it with an AI. I can't believe I don't sing it. It's it's the song that someday I will record. There will be a recording of me singing this song someday. Knock on wood.
Okay, I've got it set up. Okay. Here we go. And you fill in whatever you want to on this for us. So.
I would be most interested to observe the ceremony. Are we all invited to attend?
Fun fact, most people don't stay past the opening scene.
Really?
Like on all of my videos. Yeah. Like I started putting that little opening scene there, and I'll get like great numbers on that opening scene. And the second the music starts, it does this like direct dive down.
They're missing out on great content is what they're doing.
That's okay. It's very humbling because it's like you see these numbers and it's like 15,000 people looked at your video. Yeah. And they all watched the very beginning and nothing else. I actually wrote a song.
I dare all of you not to cry.
I wrote a song called Home Hits 10,000K about it. That was literally about, hey, thanks for making Home Hit 10,000K. And then I make a joke about how nobody watched it after the opening scene.
Running through the forest, trying to find you in the trees. You always have that special way of putting me at ease. So now it's your decision.
Aww.
To make some future plans. The fate of my universe is all in your hands. If you had the choice to live in your world or in mine, which one would you choose? Would you choose it in time? Are you gonna let me in? Or am I out here on my own? It's all in your hands, my future unknown. It's a difficult decision. It takes some perspective.
I love that scene where they're in the environmental simulator looking at that asteroid. I love it.
There are just so many really amazing production in season 3. I mean, there's that scene where they're on the asteroid. There's the shot where they're looking down on the core. I love that. All of these videos really contain all of my favorite shots. Because with the first batch of Musical Mondays I did, I was like, I'm going to make sure I edit it so it all kind of fits the video really well. And on this one, I was like, there are shots that I want to use that don't necessarily work as well, but I just wanted to use them. So I tried to make them work. But. And of course, the egg
sandwich.
That's my sandwich. What the hell? The sandwich.
That's one of my favorite parts in the whole thing is because, you know, they send the sandwich and then like you don't think about it and it's episodes later and suddenly there's an egg salad sandwich. It's like, hey, we know exactly how long it took to get from there to here because he sent it 2 weeks into the future. Oh, and I love this part right here. This is that on the floor. I mean, I've rolled and rolled and rolled when that happened live.
In the end, nothing but memories and song. If you had the choice,
I'll never get tired of Bortus's Elvis.
In your world or in mine, which one would you choose? Would you choose it in time? Are you gonna let me in? Or am I out here on my own? It's all in
No more Kelly. No. Damn it.
I think you're getting your wish on that one.
Good.
You know, I understand.
I'm being a twit.
There's going to be no more Kelly.
I want my character to be with that. No, I'm just kidding.
The only life considered poor is one that's wasted on apathy. So I can do anything I want.
Yeah, I can't get enough of Bortus's Elvis. I'm sorry.
Gordon.
I love that. Yeah, I love that they're all just terribly bored while the girls are partying. The guys are just
Good. Clayton's the only one loving it.
and Isaac's wearing a tie. Thank you. That is all.
That is all. You may now go.
That's fantastic. I love it. That was so good. So,
yeah, I think that's probably the best thing I've ever written.
So, and I always joke on Galactic Cafe. I said, I always remember the immortal words of Dolly Parton from Steel Magnolias. Time marches on and we all realize it's marching across our face. So,
yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, it has been so awesome having you on the show. Go check out her content. It's fantastic. I love it all. Once again, check out her X or Twix, as I like to call it, where you can access her fan fiction.